I will call him and say, oh, what do you think about this one? He's like, I'm not driving it, it doesn't matter to me, you think it's yours. She wants you to come sign on the phone?
No, she didn't go pick it up, she bought it. Detail shop. It's not probably just like.
Should have waited.
On the front
Which I'm concerned about. You know, that's clean. Yes, we got this weekend, tree, we can offer best for mom. Let's get all that. Sounds good. Trees on the ground.
Why
did you better not be playing, Judge? How about you? Every memory the family has under that.
All righty. Well, again, welcome everybody for the district court workshop for the county takes October 13th, just a little after 10:30, 10:38 to be exact. And we have a review and abatement packet for Rail Logics, which pretty unique business and a pretty unique opportunity to at least move in the direction we've been trying to move in for the last 5 years. So tell you what, Ann, I know Ann Miller is here somewhere. Okay. Or Theo or Wendell, somebody want to come up and give us a rundown?
I think Ann is going to lead our mess.
And we'll just do the preamble with Ann, do the play-by-play as we get started, and then let's see what it looks like.
Judge?
Yes.
Do you think we need to have an executive session over this because of the financial aspect?
No, it's not posted that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not posted. Yeah.
You can leave the finance out. We can move into executive session at the time, but
I don't
not
know.
in this regard.
Yeah, I think we have to specifically, let me pull up the statute.
Really workshop I need. Like a Pulled the Santa Claus, didn't he?
Shredded paper. Yeah.
I'll just need to say something.
We'll give Matthew a few minutes. If you would, and let's talk about the location and the business's purpose.
Okay,
We can start with that while Matthew does a little research for you.
all right, Leon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay,
You can take your mask off if you'd like, it helps you. I mean, that's up to you.
I'm getting ready to go somewhere that requires a negative test, so I prefer to keep my mask on.
Okay, I'm coughing.
So Railogix is looking at a 300-acre site on South 146, west of 146, right at the canal at the Dayton Mont Bellevue city borders.
Okay, that's a single canal. Yeah.
Yes. And they're, I'll give some like non-confidential details. They're looking at investing 175 to 200 million into the development of some buildings, rail, and site improvements on the site to create a rail-served industrial park. Their draft plans include about 130,000 feet of rail tracks to use for rail car storage and handling, and approximately 2.4 million square feet of buildings that will be leased to potential tenants.
When you say potential tenants, they will own the facility outright, but just sublet.
Most of them will be sublet. They will look at potentially selling some space, but typically they like to lease.
Okay.
Judge, I think this is the old Monica Lewinsky property.
Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah. I think,
Is that a real name?
yeah, yeah. Did I get the last name?
Yeah.
You can tell where my mind is.
That's right. It's okay. Yeah, that was at Rescue Concepts.
Monica,
Yeah, Lisinski, I mean.
yeah. She had a rescue.
Was it Liska?
This guy, that's right, this guy.
Boy, if we haven't got that one. That was what, Rescue Concepts or whatever it was called back in the old days? Yeah. So it's right there at the Cedar Canal, just north of the Cedar Canal.
There's a metallic building there.
I think it's fixing to probably go by.
Yeah, it's not holding up good, they're tearing it down right now.
Oh,
Okay, no,
That's a 300-acre piece, and that's a
Yes,
300-acre parcel.
300 acres, yes.
They'll have rail access on the backside, or coming into it directly.
It will come into it directly, and they'll have about 130,000 feet of rail line that will use to store cars, et cetera.
Okay, that's on that south line
Yes.
by UP.
Yes, and Highway 99 touches a corner of it.
Yeah.
Your Honor, may I interrupt for just a minute so she can get her machine? and
Sure.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Okay.
and Judge, it does not require written advance notice in the agenda.
Okay.
So y'all, but it will require that y'all make a finding that y'all wish to deliberate the offer of a financial or other incentive to a business prospect under, the code.
Can they do that in a workshop and not a regular meeting?
I mean, they're open meetings. I don't know what the difference between a workshop and a open meeting is. I mean,
Okay.
This is what.
yeah, I mean, other than workshop is, yeah, exactly. Open Meeting Act applies to both of them. Workshop tends to imply that we're not going to vote on anything. And so I would encourage us not to vote, but we could.
But we can't move the executive session.
We can't do it.
Listen, mostly what I want to do is get this out so anybody watching YouTube will understand what we're trying to accomplish, which would be, we already have properties in what we call the rail district. with Gulf Inland especially, but if we're looking into entering into agreements with two companies there, hopefully more down the road. And I think also City of Dayton, DCDC, and possibly the Dayton School District with some type of either abatement or agreement. The main reason is to start the process of getting these properties built and getting the revenues to start flowing, and basically realizing a dream that was pretty much hatched out many years ago, but still slowly coming into fruition, that the rail district will become a potential extension of the Port of Houston. This Rail Logics group does have property in Chambers County. And what is the name of that airport, if I'm not mistaken?
Their parent company does own the railroad, yes.
Yeah, okay. And it's pretty large, but nice thing for us is they run out of room. Is that pretty much it?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that, Theo. But we have plenty of room. Okay. So this would be 2.4 million square feet of warehousing. Okay, with rail storage and of course the rail access from UP line. And I understand that UP is adding a second line coming out of the current rail storage or rail yard area. So there'll be not just one old Goose Creek line that used to run down there, but now it'll be a second line that runs parallel with it. And that would serve Chambers County on south into the Port of Houston and further south on down to the coast. So $175 to $200 million investment. We haven't talked about total employees because we're not really sure who's going to be leasing properties yet. But who will they be serving mostly? You know that although Exxon owns properties right across the canal, and also they own properties that are in Liberty County, which would be contiguous to this property, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Theo?
Yes, sir, and yes, to the north side of it, yes, sir.
Okay. And they still have, what, about 800 acres there?
Yes, sir.
And we'd like to jumpstart them.
And I know you were kind of asking kind of like the type of tenants, you know, if you kind of look at what's similar to what Ameriport has, you're not looking at trying to recreate the wheel here. I think you're gonna see a lot of similar uses, so I'm sure a lot of chemical blending would be an option. A lot of import, export, as you saw, they had, when we went on a visit, you know, they have on site, they have a Red Bull as well there. So, you know, it'd be stuff like that. I don't see them going way outside of what is their bread and butter.
They will not be heavy industrial like Gulf Inland is focused on. It's gonna be your lighter industrial, just because that's the type of client they like to get.
Well, if one of their clients might be Exxon Plastics, there could be the possibility they would be maybe palletizing some of those products for shipping out. Okay. All right. So we're not really sure how many total jobs it will create, but we probably look at it this way: with that much square footage, 2.4 million square feet of warehousing, you're going to look at a pretty good number of jobs. Okay. And will there be 3 structures or just 2 structures, or what do you think is on the plan thus far?
Their layout includes 4 buildings, but that is subject to change based on who they have tenants for.
Okay. And then how much storage for rail car?
It's 130,000 feet, however that equates to store.
Let's see.
I'd say about 800 to 900 cars has been the number that's been floated. But that, you know, again, that kind of goes back to need, you know, they might do some minor augmentation along with it. I would say 800 to 900 cars would be their target number.
Okay. So would that be a safe assumption to say that this would be more of a gateway for us on the south end of the rail district? We already have a gateway on the north, so this would be a pretty good flag raise.
Well, I would also say another thing to keep in mind too, and you know, and alluded to it in the conversation, is that the amount of traffic this is gonna create on the line itself, because just the nature of the logistics business requires a lot of rail cars to go up and down the line. So if we're looking at justification for rail realignment, this is the exact type of, development you want on the line to help move the needle.
We need to move the needle. Okay. Bruce, you got any questions?
Just smiling about the relocation of that rail line.
Yes. David or Brother Rick, y'all have any questions about anything thus far?
Sounds like this is what we've been looking for a long time.
Okay.
Judge, the only thing I would ask is how it intertwines with the one that we've already mentioned on the north end. Is this not competition to them, but kind of?
I don't believe it's gonna be really competition.
They're targeting different types of industries, so
Yeah.
they're not really in direct competition.
Yeah.
Now, AmeriPort is in direct competition with Gulf Inland just because of the size and the types of industries they were allowing there.
Right.
But this is, and we have actually, when we do get projects in, we approach both of them. And the larger, heavy industrial projects, Gulf Inland is in support of, and Railogix has said, this is not our ideal one.
That's good.
All right. So we're gonna go into any discussion on financials. I believe we need to have a motion and a second and a vote to move into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
That's under, economic, 5510870, economic incentive, negotiations.
Got a motion from Bruce, second from Leon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. And it is 10:52 a.m. We'll now move into executive session.
You can kill that time.
You need to shut off YouTube. Now stop the live stream. Then leave the video, leave the video.
Let's just mute it.